Howdy folks, EJ here, and today I've got something pretty cool to show you with command blocks, but it's also pretty stupid and useless. Basically what I've made here is a recreation of something I saw a long time ago. Basically a concept where it summons a creeper with command blocks directly below your feet, and the explosion catapults you upward, so it's basically a little bit of a jetpack. But that was very hard to control, that version. It just pretty much made you go up if you had it exploding, and then if you let go of it, it would not make you go up at all, and you would just plummet to the ground. So it only had two settings, up really fast and down really fast, which I consider to be not too ideal. So what I hooked up is a method that lets you choose how fast upward or downward you want to go, or lets you hover in midair. It's a pretty small little mechanism, but for some reason in my testing I found that that works in 1.8, but not in 1.8.3 or above. I really don't know why. It's kind of confusing. I can demonstrate that in a bit. So this is a little mechanism I came up with. I'm not going to activate this one because I've actually taken all those command blocks and pasted them into Mr. Doreto's one command combiner to create this little thing. I have actually edited this a little bit so that it's more customized. But even so, it's mostly just a generator, so don't be impressed with the effort that went into this. It gives a link to my channel, stuff like that. But here are the items that you need to make this work, and then you can delete this machine. It'll also delete the scoreboard objective that is added for this machine. So let me just go ahead and demonstrate here. If you're holding the stick, nothing happens. If you're holding the gold nugget, explosions happen below you, and any of these other two items, explosions happen below you as well. Now let me go ahead and jump. Whee! As you can see, I am catapulted in the air, and I can use the flint. See how it kind of is pointed upward, and it's triangle shaped. The feather just lets me hover in midair. Looks like I'm going a little bit downward. And the gold nugget is a downward arrow, so I can go downward. Basically, this just allows me to get a very nice, very clean flying animation, and I can hover in midair, stop if I need to. I can go down if I need to, or up if I need to. And then if I want to stop flying, I just hit the stick. And you can actually use this just as, like, while you're flying, you can switch to a different hotbar slot, still using the same input that I gave it last. For example, let's just hover now. And now I can go to my sword, I can go to my command block, and I'm still not moving, but I can still do other things until I choose a different option. And as you can see, I can run around and jump on the ground normally, but it's only when I jump off of something a little bit higher that I actually start to fly. So that's a fun little thing to mess around with. It's actually quite entertaining to do this, even though it's absolutely pointless. And that's basically how it works. Obviously, if you're in creative, you would never need this because, I mean, you can just fly normally, which is a lot easier than this method. It's just kind of fun to mess around with. Maybe it could be used for a puzzle map or something. So other than that, it's pretty pointless. If you go into game mode 0, it doesn't exactly work because you do take damage from the creepers. I've hooked it up so that it gives you resistance so you don't die, but it's still, like, really hard to control. So basically all you can do is the same thing as in the previous video that I talked about, where you either go up or you go down. There's not really much choice. But that's about it. This is just an alternate mode of flying in creative mode, I guess. It's kind of stupid, kind of weird. Don't know why it doesn't work in 1.8.3 or above. Last thing I guess I should note is that if you are planning on using this for something, you might want to take a look in here. Basically how it works is it summons a creeper with fuse 0, meaning that it instantly explodes, slightly below you, and this very specific number is actually how far it goes. A lot of trial and error to figure out that number. But this is basically just, if you're holding one of these items, it'll do a different distance from you when it explodes. And depending on your lag situation, depending on what other command block contraptions are running, depending on how much knockback resistance you have, there are a lot of things that could affect this, so it might not work. This is just the combination that I came up with that works best for my computer. But for you, it might be very different. So you might need to change these numbers, try it a little bit until you can find the right number to make yourself hover. And yeah, there are several command blocks that you need to edit. This one makes you go upward, this one makes you go downward, I believe, and this one makes you hover. All those three needs to be edited if you want this to work correctly. This one technically only needs to be run once, but yeah, that's about it. Hope you enjoyed this video, and that's all I have for today. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you guys all later. Bye bye.